Live from New York, this is the Harvey Hour. My name is Nathan Harvey. It's great to have you in today on a Friday. As always, I'm joined alongside my dad, Stephen Harvey. How you doing today on this Friday?
Doing great. Looking forward to the show here. We got some good topics.
We got a lot to talk about. More trade request news. Breaking news. More me being right, just not at the right time. That's going to be our first topic of today's show. A lot to get to. Some surprising news, definitely. Let's jump right into it with the first topic of today's show because, according to ESPN's Stephen Holder, it looks like Anthony Richardson is seeking homes elsewhere. He's moving on from the Indianapolis Colts, and him and the Colts have mutually agreed to part ways. The former 4th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, after being replaced by Daniel Jones, is seeing if he can find another home outside of Indianapolis. So my question to you is, overall, how big of a market do you think Anthony Richardson actually has?
Well, first, I'll give a big picture view of Anthony Richardson, okay? I think he's Trey Lance 2.0. And I think a lot of teams will think of him that way. Trey Lance 2.0. He came out of college, hadn't played that much in college. He was looking at a fantastic athlete, had a tremendous upside, exactly like Trey Lance. And Trey Lance came out, and it turned out he couldn't. Well, he hasn't yet anyway, made it to a starting role in the NFL. San Francisco sacrificed a lot to get him. The Colts picked Anthony Richardson with a 4th-round pick in the 2023 draft, and it didn't pan out, and now Anthony Richardson's off shopping for a new team. And the Colts gave him permission to seek a trade. I think Trey Lance went to Dallas for a 4th-round pick when San Francisco parted ways with him. He lost his preseason. Richardson lost his preseason battle with Daniel Jones and relegated him to a number 2 spot. Then he sustained a fractured orbital bone in a freak preseason warm-up incident, and he's still kind of recovering from that. It affected his eyesight. So how the hell that happened, I have no idea. It was in a preseason pre-game warm-up that he got hurt. And I don't know how that happened. He must not have had his helmet on or something to get hurt and to break a bone there. And he must have been hit with something. I don't know. He's just 23 years old, and now that injury seems to have healed, they say, but it's not totally clear whether it's healed 100%. And his vision has been restored, but it's not clear that it's been restored 100%. He's been injured throughout his career. He's missed 13 games in his rookie season as a result of a shoulder injury that required surgery. He missed 4 games in 2024 due to multiple injuries. In total, he started 15 games for the Colts, 11 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, a career completion percentage of an amazing 50.6%, just terrible. It was, as I mentioned, the overall 4th-round pick in the 2023 drafts. The Colts are working to re-sign Daniel Jones as their starter for the foreseeable future, with now Riley Leonard as the number 2, who played pretty well, actually, when they let him get in there in the last game of the season. So he'll probably win the number 2 spot. Jones, he's been injured too. He broke a bone in his leg in 2025, but continued to play, and that was probably a mistake because then he tore his Achilles tendon, which I got to believe the two are kind of related to one another, in early December, but now they say he's on schedule to return for the start of the 2026 season, which a little bit of a surprise to me. Generally, the Achilles tendon injury takes a while to recover from. And he had it late in the season, so I don't know. We'll see. He could be a free agent, but the Colts have got to get a deal done without having to use the franchise tag. That's their hope, but maybe that's what will happen. They'll wind up with Jones on the franchise tag. Might not be the best. It might not be the worst option for the Colts. Just think back to the Giants. That's what they should have done with Daniel Jones instead of giving him that big contract and signed Saquon Barkley. They got it reversed and messed that up. So Ballard, the GM, said he still believes in Richardson, but the Colts do not see a role for him in 2026. That's BS, right? He says
What's his role?
He says he believes in Richardson just so he can try to get a decent trade for him. That's all. I think this is undermined. That statement's undermined by the decision to bench Richardson in 2024, the decision to bring Jones in as competition, which he won, shows that the Colts were not committed to Richardson for the long term. I think the decision to allow Richardson to find a new team works in his favor. I think he has 1 season remaining on his rookie contract, unless the 5th year option is exercised, and he has his salary is going to be $1,145,000 base and a 4.24 roster bonus due in August. So it's not that cheap, actually. The Colts gave him a $5.385 million in salary, a cap space if they can unload him, with $5.43 in dead money if he's traded before June 1st. Where might he land, Nate? Where do you think? I think there's several teams, but I don't think he's going to any of them. But the teams that I've heard, Minnesota, O'Connell has earned the reputation as the quarterback whisperer. He makes rejuvenates careers of quarterbacks. There are internal concerns about J.J. McCarthy after his poor 2025 performance, but he'd have Justin Jefferson to throw to. That's a plus. But I don't think the Minnesota's given up on McCarthy just yet. The Rams, Stafford, the MVP in 2025, but he's going to be 38 years old next year.
Just won the
There's
MVP.
no succession plan in place right now. Richardson wants to play for a coach from the McVay tree. Well, that'd be even better. He could play directly from McVay. He wouldn't have the pressure of immediate starting duties. He could spend a year or two refining his skills and eventually bring a dual threat dimension to McVay's innovative offense. But again, I'm sure they're thinking about the Trey Lance 2.0 vision. The Dolphins, it'd be a homecoming for him going back to Florida. He's a native of Florida. Now leadership wants to part ways with Tua, so it's an attractive option financially to use his elite athleticism to complement the Dolphins' track star speed. The Steelers, Rodgers, 42 years old, a free agent. He might not even come back. The Steelers need a long-term plan for a quarterback. McCarthy's has a track record of fixing quarterback mechanics, helping Rodgers early in his career. Could be exactly what Richardson needs to improve his accuracy and his processing speed. Pittsburgh is built to win now, and Richardson's ability to extend plays with his legs would be a benefit, but it sounds a lot like Justin Fields to me, and that they didn't keep Justin Fields. I don't think he'll go to any of them. The Vikings, I think, will prefer Cousins, and they haven't given up on McCarthy. The Rams look at Richardson as another Trey Lance failed project, I think. The Dolphins will likely go with Ewers in a season which I think is a tank season for them. Pittsburgh will likely go with Rodgers, and they gave up on Fields, who had a similar skill set to Richardson. So I'm not sure where he'll land, but I don't think I personally think his opportunity to be successful in the NFL is small.
Okay, you said the Colts could find a role for him. What's his role?
They couldn't find a role.
Right, and you say that was BS. What's his role?
No, I said it was BS that
they benched him. By the way,
they said they
benched
had
him because he took himself out because he was tired.
Right.
So that's not them giving up on Richardson. That's not them benching them out of bad faith. That's not even benching him for his performance. It's benching him because he took himself out because he was tired.
They said they still believe. The guy said he still believed in him, but I don't believe that's true. And what I said after that is the reasons why. And I do think that's one thing I left out. One thing I left out was his saying he was tired, which was crazy.
Okay,
we talked about that
in your
the past.
opinion, what's his role?
For the Colts?
For him. For Anthony Richardson, what's his role?
His role is playing quarterback.
For who?
I don't know.
Is he a starter in the league?
No, I don't think so.
Is he a backup in the league?
Maybe.
On what team? a bad team, good team, playoff team.
He's not going to cost
team.
anybody too much money. In fact, they might find a way to get the Colts to take back a little bit of that salary. So maybe he could be a backup at the Dolphins. Maybe.
So a terrible team.
Yeah, a terrible team.
So he's a half step away from not even being on a team.
Possible.
If you're a backup on a terrible team, you're barely deserving of a job in the NFL.
True.
So you're saying he's not as good as Quinn Ewers?
I think Quinn Ewers deserves the opportunity to start.
Okay.
But I think that I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Dolphins. I think that these two Green Bay guys, they're going to get into the draft and see what they get. They're going to try, if they can unload Tua and not have to take back too much of his salary, they may have some flexibility with the salaries. I think they'll be looking at Malik Willis if they think that they try to win a few games next year. They're going to look hard at him. And we're going to talk about Malik Willis next.
Before I get into I'm curious, where does the Rams come into play? So Minnesota, the Rams, Dolphins, and Steelers.
Yep.
Why would the Rams even consider him?
Stafford's getting old.
He just won the MVP.
I understand
and he's
that.
coming back.
But he's 38 years old.
And he's coming back.
I understand. I said maybe 1-2 years before Richardson would get any kind of shot. Might even be 3 years. Right? Stafford.
Well,
I'm sure Stafford.
He's going for
the way
a bad
Stafford's
team.
Playing, I think he could play into his 40s.
He
still hasn't lost any mobility. He still runs around back there like he's 25 years old. I don't see him. I don't see him quitting anytime soon. Particularly if they keep winning the way they've been winning. If he keeps winning MVP awards, I don't see why he would retire. And certainly McVay doesn't want him to go.
Right.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he won a Super Bowl with him, won an MVP this year. I don't know why you get rid of him. When it comes to Anthony Richardson, I said this a while ago. He's not an NFL quarterback. Not at all. Not a single time. Because the number one rule of an NFL quarterback, if we're stripping it bare entirely, the number one job of a quarterback is to complete passes. It's crazy, but it is that simple. You're the very baseline job of a quarterback. You don't need incredible athleticism. You don't need incredible mobility. You don't need to be the Flash. You don't need to be a Big Ben where you weigh about 400 pounds in the pocket and really don't get sacked. The number one role of a quarterback, above anything else, is completing passes. Out of 90 qualified quarterbacks who have 15-plus starts in their first 2 years in the NFL since 2000, 90 quarterbacks, pretty big sample size. Dead last in completion percentage, only 1 point above Eli Manning. I will take that shot when I can. One little tick above Eli Manning. Tied for the fewest passing touchdowns. 83rd out of 90 in passer rating. That's the 8th lowest. Third highest bad throw percentage. Dead last in on-target passes. But don't worry. Number 2 in yards per completion. Number 2. He's a real-life Madden player. Always trying to go for the big play, the 40-yard completion, the one-play touchdown. And it got him benched for a guy who got kicked out of New York for being overpaid and not playing very well. And now he wants out. His market, the question, how big of a market? It depends on what outlook you have of him. If you say he's Trey Lance 2.0, I'll give Trey Lance the benefit of the doubt and say he got hurt. Richardson's just bad. He was really bad. There was a little bit of hope with Trey Lance. He had the first 2 good games, or first game and a half, and then he got hurt. He had a pretty gruesome injury. When it comes to Richardson, he was out there. The record's fine. But you look at his performance, it's not great. The number one job of a quarterback, you complete passes. He couldn't do that. So I don't think the Colts are dissing him in any way, or they're not holding up their end of the bargain, or they didn't give him a full shot. They actually did the opposite of what the Niners did to Trey Lance. The Niners had Jimmy G start his first year, Trey Lance's first year, and brought him in like the preseason for some weird running packages. In the second year, it was supposed to be his year. Then he gets hurt in like game 1 or game 2 or game 3. But then Jimmy G comes back in, and then there's Brock Purdy. Richardson, throw him out there. That's exactly what you do with a super raw quarterback, because you need him to get the reps. I thought Drake May should have played much sooner than he did with Jacoby Brissett out there 1 or 2 years ago. I thought that Drake May should have started. Everyone's like, no, the offensive line. He has a terrible offensive line. The Patriots' offensive line this year, hit or miss. And in the playoffs, really bad. That's why you had to adapt. You go through adversity. Again, the number one job of a quarterback, complete passes. If you can't complete passes, you shouldn't be playing quarterback in the NFL. I feel Justin Fields gets more credibility than Richardson does, and I think Richardson could be a better player than Justin Fields in due time. It's just that Richardson has not played to a level of even a standard of quality quarterback play, so he hasn't had the opportunity to play for as long as Justin Fields has. Richardson could be a free agent until like August.
I take a little issue with your view that the number one job of the quarterback is to complete passes. I think the number one job of the quarterback is to recognize what the defense is in and call the right play.
So you can complete a pass to an open receiver.
Or hand it off to a running back who gets a 15-yard gain or runs for a touchdown.
But that has nothing to do with your ability. You and I can hand off a ball to a running back.
The mental part of the quarterback role is just as important. It's the most important in my mind. If you read the defenses correctly and you know what the play is, you can either check down or continue with the play that was called in the huddle.
That makes good quarterbacks great and great quarterbacks elite.
Yeah.
There's levels to it. The baseline number one thing of
I don't disagree. You have to be able to throw the ball accurately. And
but you're doing multiple levels. I'm saying the baseline thing to do of a quarterback is throw the ball and complete a pass. You're doing a whole nother level.
No, but I think the baseline is being able to recognize what the best play is to call.
That's the head coach's job. That's the offensive coordinator's job.
No, they call a play from the sidelines. The quarterback tells the team to play. They go up to the line of scrimmage. If the defense shifts into something else and that play won't work, then the quarterback has to check down to something else. That to me is the most important thing.
I'm not saying the most important. You're saying the most important part. I'm saying the baseline.
Well, I think the smarts are the big part of the baseline. I don't think it's any one thing, actually.
Of course it's one thing.
I think the passing is very important, of course.
Jameis Winston can throw the ball very, very well.
But the smarts are just as important.
Right, but Jameis Winston has incredible arm ability. He had trouble with throwing it to the other team. The ability was there. That's why. Number one thing, he couldn't read the defense. That's number two. Zach Wilson, great arm. He could throw the ball very well. Interception issue. Sam Darnold, he turned out to be a very good player. He grew into a very good player. Had trouble throwing it to the other team.
I think that's part of missing what the defense is what formation they're in, not knowing exactly what the defense is going to do. That's why they threw the interceptions.
Again,
that's part of why they threw the interceptions.
That's another thing. You learn the game.
Okay.
You throw the ball. You throw it. Like you could run it. Well, then you're a running back.
Okay, well.
You block. You're a tight end if you could catch and block.
So what team do you think he might go to?
I don't think he will be employed until August. What team would want a quarterback that can't complete passes? No team is voluntarily doing a reclamation project.
It's a Trey Lance thing.
Trey Lance is terrible.
But Trey Lance is still hanging around.
He's barely a backup on the Chargers.
Yeah, but he is their second
He couldn't
string
beat out
quarterback.
Cooper Rush. It was Trey Lance or Easton Stick. Or Stetson Bennett's on the Rams. It was TCU quarterback. He played in the national championship. I'm forgetting his name. It was him. So again, is Trey Lance better than like an Easton Stick? Sure, but he couldn't beat out Cooper Rush.
I don't know Easton Stick.
He was the backup quarterback.
He did play. Didn't Easton Stick play?
Correct.
Because
Justin Herbert was hurt.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, Trey Lance played last year. That was a couple years ago. Trey Lance couldn't beat out Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush couldn't beat out Snoop Huntley. Cooper Rush got benched.
But Trey Lance is the backup for the Chargers now.
Because, again, he could beat out Easton Stick, who isn't a quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. So.
Would you take Trey Lance or Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush played pretty bad this past year.
Would you? Exactly. He couldn't beat him out in Dallas. Would you take Trey Lance or Tyler Huntley?
I just said I think that Richardson is Trey Lance 2.0. I don't think Trey Lance is going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, you're big on both these quarterbacks.
Initially, but
I knocked Trey Lance out immediately.
As you see how they perform over a year, your opinion changes.
My opinion stayed the same.
You always thought Trey Lance would be a bust.
Yes.
Even from the day he was drafted.
Go back on it right now. I said on it used to be called the Harvey Hour Fired Up, I think, a while ago. I used to do the show on Wednesdays. It'd be a half hour. I said Mike Silver said in January, I think this was 2023, that you can get a third-round pick for Trey Lance. And I think the quote was like, go get it. Do whatever you can to get off Trey Lance. You're going forward with Brock Purdy. There's no reason to keep him. No,
I'm asking the day he was drafted.
We didn't do the draft the day he was drafted. I don't think we have footage of that.
Yeah, but do you think he was a bust before he was even drafted?
If you draft him to replace Jimmy G and Jimmy G gets an extension for a 1-year extension, how'd you not beat out Jimmy Garoppolo, who people think choked in the Super Bowl? Anthony Richardson, I knew this from day one. You get a reclamation project who wasn't that good, and when you come out and you get injured every single time, you talk about his athletic ability. All of his injuries come from running the football. Not in the pocket, not a horrible strip sack where you end up getting hurt, nothing like that. No freak accident. Running the football, using his legs. Kyler Murray used his legs, got hurt, doesn't want to run anymore. Anthony Richardson will run, but he gets hurt every time he does. Every single one of his injuries. You can go back for his NFL injury list.
Yeah.
Every one of his injuries is because he left the pocket and decided to run. Jackson Dart-esque.
Somebody will pick him up. They'll get him for a song. They might even get the Colts to take back some of his salary.
It's a rookie deal. That's how bad it is. He was the 4th overall pick who got beat out by now Riley Leonard and probably Daniel Jones. What team wants? Like, the only one that I could see, if you want a legitimate competition, J.J. McCarthy and Anthony Richardson. But again, that just means you're screwed at quarterback either way.
I don't think that Minnesota's going to go that route.
I would agree, because you want to go Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is, again, that's what bad teams do. Like, if the Minnesota Vikings decide to go the Anthony Richardson, J.J. McCarthy route, they're the Las Vegas Raiders of Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, where they went into preseason saying, okay, battle it out. We'll do split reps in preseason. What? You're 4 weeks away from week 1 and you don't know who your starting quarterback is? I think we're going to see that again. If he goes to Minnesota, that'll be a legitimate competition. Terrible quarterback versus young quarterback who did not play very well. And in that battle, I'm taking J.J. McCarthy. You can go down a list of all 32 quarterbacks.
I don't see the Minnesota risking it.
Right, but
they're going to bring in Cousins for sure.
Here, I'm going to go down a list of 32 quarterbacks. We're going to figure out if Anthony Richardson beats him out. Drake May.
No.
Josh Allen.
No.
Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor.
Maybe.
Okay, we have one. The Jets. Tua Tagovailoa.
No. Oh, maybe.
I'd take Tua over Anthony Richardson. Rodgers.
No.
Lamar.
No.
Burrow.
No.
Shador.
No. Maybe.
I don't think Browns fans.
This is a bunch of places. We got 3 teams.
You do. Lawrence.
No.
Stroud.
No.
Daniel Jones, he already got beat out.
No.
Cam Ward.
No.
Knicks.
No.
Herbert.
No.
Mahomes.
No.
Fernando Mendoza.
No.
Jalen Hurts.
No.
Dak Prescott.
No.
Jaden Daniels.
No.
Jackson Dart.
No.
Caleb Williams.
No.
Jordan Love.
No.
J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, J.J. because he's a starting quarterback.
Maybe. Minnesota.
Jared Goff.
No.
Bryce Young.
No.
Your bounce quarterback. Baker Mayfield.
No.
Michael Penix. That's crazy. Stefanski's going to get fired by week 8 if he picks up Richardson. Who, by the way, I thought he should go to, which is the Falcons.
Who's next?
Tyler Shuck.
No.
Darnold.
No.
Stafford.
No.
Purdy.
No.
And then I guess I want Kyler Murray, technically.
Oh, Arizona?
Yeah.
So there's quite a few teams there.
So you went from saying not going to Minnesota, not going to the Rams, not going to the Dolphins, not going to the Steelers.
Yeah.
To back to the Dolphins.
Well, I'd say maybe they bring him in as a backup.
I said starter. That's why I went with all starting quarterbacks.
Oh, starting. No, I don't think he would start.
Okay, so he's an automatic backup.
Yeah. I said I didn't think he'd be a starter. He's not going to. He might have an opportunity to compete.
Okay, so
maybe he has an opportunity to compete in the Dolphins camp.
Okay,
right? He have an opportunity to compete there because Ewers is basically a rookie.
Would Justin Fields beat him out?
Justin Fields
they're
played pretty bad for the Jets, I must say. I think Justin Fields a better player than Richardson.
Okay, so that wouldn't be. Would Shador beat him out?
I'm not sure. I think Richardson suffered from having a lot of injuries. If he stayed healthy, maybe we really haven't seen what he can do. I mean, he is I think he's more athletic than Shador Sanders.
I agree with that. Yeah,
right.
He's
more
athletic.
Healthy,
he'd be one of the.
He has a stronger arm, right? He's faster.
Again, arm strength means nothing if it doesn't get to the guy. Like Shane Steichen, perfect play. Like you're
Richardson, he was yards per completion. He was right up there, right?
Number 2
because he can throw the ball the length of the field.
Right. So let me tack on to what you said because it actually falls into what I mean. Shane Steichen could drop the perfect play, the one play touchdown Richardson is always looking for, that 40-yard pass. In fact, Richardson could do what I think is a level 2 thing and read the defense. Read the defense. So he knows maybe what opening is coming in like a cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, whatever the coverage is. If you throw it inaccurately, the play is wasted, and your mental stamina for reading the defense, wasted. He barely has above a 50% completion percentage over his 15 starts.
You think that somebody could get better at throwing the ball more accurately, but Justin Fields hasn't. Right,
Justin Fields doesn't throw the ball.
He can't throw the ball accurately.
Well, he's
not good
at
accuracy. That's a problem for him. Trey Lance is not very accurate either. So accuracy is something I thought you could learn, you could get better at, but maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe it's a natural thing.
I feel, and I saw some people were saying that Andy Reid could take him on and make him better. Mm-hmm. Carson Wentz didn't look much better when he left Kansas City and went over to Minnesota. I understand he was so banged up. But he did not look like, oh, my God.
No.
Pretty good quality backup. He's not, right now, he does not have the demand of Mac Jones, who people are stunned that the 49ers are wanting like a second-round pick and more for Mac Jones. Carson Wentz is not going to get that kind of package.
No, of course not.
So even if he goes to Kansas City, what are you expecting?
Anthony Richardson going to Kansas City?
So Andy Reid
I don't think he's going there.
Right, but that's what some people have. Kansas City. Just so Andy Reid could fix him.
I don't think so. I think Andy Reid's got more other things to worry about that need fixing than having Anthony Richardson there to be fixed.
Look,
what are the other teams we had there? Arizona was one of them.
Arizona.
Yeah. I think they'll be looking at Malik Willis.
I think they're going quarterback. Falcons, they're sticking with Penix.
Yeah.
Vikings, if they're smart, they go Kirk Cousins. Unless you want to unless you believe in J.J. McCarthy so much that you want to get arguably the worst free agent quarterback available and say, compete. And just hope they don't pull out a Las Vegas Raiders card
what? Maybe
and
he
say,
winds up
preseason will determine whose quarterback won.
Maybe he winds up with the Jets. Right.
The Jets are where quarterbacks go to die.
The Jets they're capable of making a decision to bring somebody like him in, I think.
I mean, we're going to get into the next topic. Compared to the quarterbacks and their asking prices out there, might be smart to bring
There aren't that many quarterbacks out there, so he's going to land somewhere, and he might even get a chance to compete. But I don't.
He's losing.
It doesn't look like he's going to be successful to me. I think he's Terry Lance 2.0.
And is that Trey Lance light or a better version of Trey Lance? On what version of Trey Lance?
I don't know.
Worse Trey Lance
I don't
or
know.
A better
I
Trey
mean,
Lance?
I think that Richardson has been so banged up. I mean, his rookie season he only played 4 games.
Because he got hurt running the ball.
13 games. His second season he missed 4 games. He got benched for part of that time because his own fault. And last year he didn't play at all, and he wound up getting this orbital injury to his eye. Not even playing. Yeah. The guy is unlucky. I think he deserves a little luck, and maybe he'll get it. I don't know. I think that the Colts are, doing him a favor, letting him go try to find a trade partner.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to get any level of compensation. If we're talking about trade value, is he above a 6th-round pick?
No.
Exactly. Even on a desperate team, they would not spend a 5th or more on Anthony Richardson. And that's just the realistic situation.
That's the realistic situation for the Colts. They got to know that they're going to be giving him up for not getting much.
First round pick, 4th overall pick in the 2023 draft, and he's going for a 6th. My God. All right, let's go to another quarterback that's apparently making waves in free agency because Jordan Schultz. What's up?
They didn't give as much. They drafted him with a 4th-round pick, but they didn't give as much as the San Francisco did to draft Trey Lance.
They
drafted San Francisco traded up
3 first-round picks.
They traded up 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was something.
So bad.
That's true. All right, let's get to the next topic here because somehow, he looked all right this season, but it looks like, according to Jordan Schultz, Malik Willis could be worth, it's quote, a foregone conclusion that Malik Willis is going to make at least $30 million a year in whatever team he winds up with. Whether it be a terrible team, an okay team, whatever the case may be, if Malik Willis is going to be signing a contract with a new team, it's a foregone conclusion that it'll be $30+ million a year. So my question is, what teams do you think will take a chance on Willis at that price tag?
Well, as you said, $30 million a year. I'm sure he's happy to hear that. Foregone conclusion. This is the talk at the combine. He's in high demand and expected to have a very strong market. Plenty of teams need help at quarterback, and demand outweighs the supply. And this particular year, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Dolphins have been linked to Willis, and since the end of the year here. 26 years old, started 2 years at Liberty. I didn't even know Liberty. That's a college I wasn't aware of. After transferring from Auburn, he was 17-6 at Liberty. The Titans picked him up with the 86th pick in the 2022 draft. They then traded him to the Packers 2 years ago for a 7th-round pick. So, he went for a 7th-round pick. He didn't play well for the Titans. He got his opportunities there, right? He did get in there when Tannehill was hurt, and he didn't play well there. But he finished the final year of his 4-year, $5.16 million contract that included a $933,000 signing bonus, and is now an unrestricted free agent. And for the Packers, in 2025, this past year, he was in there for 4 games, and he completed 85.7% of his passes for 422 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also rushed the ball 22 times for 123 yards and 2 more TDs. In the 2 years he was with the Packers, he showed excellent pocket awareness, elite athleticism, solid passing skills. He had 11 game appearances for the Packers with 3 starts, 972 passing yards, 261 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, 6 passing, 3 rushing, 78.7 completion percentage. He played well for the Packers, and they were smart enough to have the coaching that fit the offense to Malik Willis's skills, and I'm sure that's what interests a lot of these other teams. They look at Willis. If we get him kind of the offense that the Packers did for him, he can be pretty successful. I think his most likely destination is Miami. If they can get off of Tua and not have to take back too much of his salary, because they have a lot of financial problems. I think Hafley and Sullivan watched him play in Green Bay, and despite being the best option for tanking is the best option for the Dolphins, I think in 2026 they're going to try to pursue him. That's my thing.
Okay, so when it comes to Malik Willis, I'll say this. Why the Dolphins? I understand the connection with Sullivan and with Hafley, but the number one thing is I'm stunned. $30 million a year for a quarterback that could have beat out Ryan Tannehill at the very end of his career and didn't even really have a competition to compete against Will Levis the following year. He got beat out by Will Levis, who I don't even know where Will Levis is at this current moment in time. I don't even think he's employed. I'm shocked then. How is he still employed? Honestly, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, that's a battle I want to see. 2 quarterbacks who can't complete passes. It'd be really fun to watch. That should be the Pro Bowl games. Will Levis versus Anthony Richardson. Who can complete more passes? Let's make that part of the Pro Bowl games, I think.
3rd year, so he's still on his rookie contract
with the Titans. He got drafted in 2023, so this would be going to his 4th year. But still, he couldn't beat out Will Levis. They chose Will Levis over him and didn't even give him a chance to compete. It was him and Ryan Tannehill. That was it. Malik Willis just sat back and just enjoyed the show. And then he goes over to Green Bay, and all of a sudden, he looks competent. Smokescreen. Really, really stable organization, phenomenal coaching, stable franchise, good talent, all young talent, really good, solid talent all around, and a defense to complement it pretty well, with obviously Josh Jacobs definitely helps. Think about the teams that are currently looking for quarterbacks. The top 3, one of which is going to draft one. Actually, let's do it without the Raiders, because they're going to get Fernando Mendoza. The Jets, the Dolphins, and the Cardinals. Which one of those teams is even remotely comparable to talent, structure, coaching as the Green Bay Packers? 0. And if we're talking about cap, well, then probably the Jets would be the best one. I'm looking at it here. The Jets are number 2 in cap space. The Cardinals are 10th. When it comes to Miami, there's 2 issues. 3 issues. There are 2 of them that kind of, go together. One is you're in cap hell. You're currently negative $3 million right now. $3 million over the cap. You're 21st in the league in that. And it goes into the second point. You have to build a roster. You don't have a good offensive line. You currently don't have a quarterback. You have 1 wide receiver left after you just let your wide receiver 1 go. You just let go your best pass rusher. You want to get rid of your best defensive back. You're getting rid of all these guys. This is a full reset and rebuild. Why would you spend $30 million on a quarterback who we're talking about hasn't really been given a shot like we do maybe with Anthony Richardson or Trey Lance? He has 6 starts in 4 years. And now he's going to another bad organization. We just saw him do very well on a good organization. The 3 ones that I just listed before, sans Raiders, they're all terrible. Honestly, if we think about it, the Dolphins haven't found a quarterback since Dan Marino. The Jets haven't found one since, I can't believe I'm saying it, but Mark Sanchez. And the Cardinals haven't found a quarterback since what? Carson Palmer? Kyler Murray was not great for them. He led to a playoff appearance or 2? It wasn't that great. So we want to say Kyler Murray? Fine, Kyler Murray. I mean, I really cannot find out why the hell you'd spend $30 million on a quarterback who has 6 starts of his NFL career, looked good, but I think it's a smokescreen due to the organization. Just like how we sometimes say, is that actually, like Jimmy Garoppolo is a perfect example of this. Couple NFC Championship games, made it to a Super Bowl, led the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But as soon as he went to a team that wasn't the San Francisco 49ers, the deepest team in the NFL, he barely played for the Las Vegas Raiders. Barely. He was so bad. Devontae Adams, we heard on the audio for that receiver show on Netflix, wanted out. So I think ultimately this is what this is going to be. You're going over to a terrible organization again. And this is the third point I meant to get to. Why would you try to get a quarterback and win now with the bad roster when this is your schedule? These are your opponents. We went through this. This is a 2-win schedule, and they may come within your own division, the New York Jets. Why would you try to win now at all? You have Quinn Ewers on a rookie deal. And honestly, it's a low price deal because of where you drafted him. You have an opportunity to tank, get the first overall pick, and go out and get Arch Manning or Dante Moore next year, or Chambliss out of Ole Miss, whoever you want for the first overall pick at quarterback. To me, this doesn't make any sense why the Dolphins would spend the money. If the Jets want to spend the money, they have it. But ultimately, in the Cardinals, I think there are better options out there, and you could get one in this draft if you're looking at someone like Simpson at Alabama. So they could draft a quarterback this year. Jets could draft a quarterback at what? I think they have the 16th pick. Could draft a quarterback this year. I would draft a wide receiver with that second pick. They're probably going to go edge rusher after trading away Jermaine Johnson. Was it a day or 2 ago? So I don't see many options here. I don't think a foregone conclusion to make $30 million I can't believe that's a legitimate report.
Okay, well, my initial comment to all of that is $30 million ain't much.
That's how much Baker Mayfield and a little bit less than what Sam Darnold is making.
But Baker Mayfield signed that when he looked like Baker Mayfield was probably washed up, right?
Same thing with Sam Darnold.
Same thing with Sam Darnold, right?
33 a year.
So $30 million now when a quarterback that's even half good makes 40, and the ones that are supposed to be elite are making 50 and almost 60 million. Dak Prescott makes $60 million a year. That's double $30 million. Okay, that's double.
Yeah.
So $30 million, not outside the possibility of thought. Daniel Jones, he'll get more than $30 million from the Colts. I think. Don't you? Don't you think he'll get more than 30? He'll get his old contract back.
$40 million a year?
Yeah, right. They'd be better off. Personally, I think they'd be better off franchising him. I would franchise him and just see whether he can recover from those injuries and whether he really is the real deal now, because he kind of fell apart a little bit in the second half of the season there. He's fumbling the ball a lot. Now, the offensive line stunk too, and that didn't help him, but still hanging onto the ball has been a problem for him, and it showed up later in the season. So why not put the franchise tag on him? I don't know. But to me, $30 million is not, it doesn't seem like that much money anymore for a quarterback who has some potential. And I do think the Dolphins would love to have him, but I don't think they'll wind up with him.
Well, and I
think that Ewers, maybe he is real. Maybe he is for real. Maybe he's for real, and you'll find out in that season. And if he's not, then all those quarterbacks are there to pick. And you want to be up in the top 2 or 3 spots to be able to get one of them, and they won't do that likely if they pick Willis and pay him $30 million. So I think that'd be the wrong thing to do, but I do think they'll try. They'll try because they saw him play in Green Bay, and they probably think that he could be very helpful to them, and they'd like to find a way to probably get him. So I think they'll be in the mix, but I think they'll be better off if he didn't go there.
Well, okay.
But where is he going to wind up then? I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't think it will be the Jets.
Good competition
I don't think it'll be the Jets because I think that the Jets are going to go with Murray, and I don't think it'll be Minnesota because I think the Minnesota will go with Cousins. That leaves Arizona, maybe. Maybe Arizona is where he's going to go.
What about the Steelers?
The Steelers is a possibility too, but the Steelers now have McCarthy as their
offensive guy.
But Malik Willis is more. I think he fits better in what would have been Arthur Smith's scheme when Arthur Smith is gone. Right, they were running, more a running game with the quarterback having designed runs and that kind of thing. So whether McCarthy's interested in doing something like that or not, I don't know. But yeah, the Pittsburgh is probably a potential option too. But that, to me, I think McCarthy wants Rodgers back. I think he wants Rodgers, but McCarthy is charged with coming up with the future quarterback, and Malik Willis could be seen as that. He could be seen as the future. Clearly, if he's making
$30 million a year.
Yeah, you would think that's what you would expect.
Well, here's my question to you. It's only 1 year removed from this. Is Malik Willis closer to Sam Darnold at 33 or Justin Fields at 20?
In terms of salary? I think he's probably closer to Darnold.
You think he's closer to $33 million? Justin Fields signed that $20 million a year contract 1 year ago. So it's not like this day and age, Justin Fields, a starting quarterback in the NFL, is making $20 million a year.
I know. So you would think Malik Willis could easily get 30 then.
I'm saying that Malik, if any team signs him for close to 35 and above, that is a massive boom or bust chance.
35? Why are we talking 35?
Because clearly, if 30 is a foregone conclusion, there's going to be a bidding war.
Between who, though?
The bad teams.
Yeah, but who? Arizona? The Jets?
Honestly,
I don't think the Jets are going to go
going back to this. A surprise team.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on the dynamics around the dynamics around it, or make this really difficult for it to make sense. But I think it could work. The Atlanta Falcons. I think that would be a good destination for Malik Willis. because it's not a bad team.
No.
You play in a bad division.
No, I agree. And that's a team where you could put the running offense in place because you have Bijan Robinson.
You have Bijan Robinson. You franchise tag Kyle Pitts. You have Drake London. You have Kevin Stefanski. You have a very good pass rush defense, although one of the guys needs to deal with some legal issues first. But, like, you have a pretty good foundation.
Yeah, but another running back, too. Who's the other running back?
Tyler Algier, who I think
who's pretty
is a
good.
free agent right now, so they may not bring him back. Wan'Dale Robinson's out there if you want another wide receiver, too. Like, there are pieces out there, and you have pieces on the Falcons that could make sense for it to work. You go to the Dolphins, who's left? Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane. Offensive line's bad. Tight end's not great. Defense is terrible.
That's why they should tag.
Jets literally have nobody besides Breece Hall, who doesn't want to be there, and Garrett Wilson. They just traded away now their remaining last best pass rusher.
I think the Jets will try for Murray.
And then you have the Cardinals are such a wild card because you have a completely new coaching staff.
You also have Brissett, who played reasonably well.
I'd choose Brissett over Malik Willis. I choose Brissett over
You could have
Richardson.
him for a lot less money, and it's probably another building year for the Cardinals anyway. So why not stick with Brissett for another year?
Right. He knows the system. Okay, no, he doesn't know the system because the system's gone. He's familiar with the players. Malik Willis isn't.
Yeah.
I think Brissett is a very good piece in that system. I know Jonathan Gannon's gone, but I do think that Jacoby Brissett should be one of those options that they consider. Will they? I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know.
All right, we're going to take a quick break after about 30 seconds. But coming up, I give my over-unders for the 2026-27 NFL season. Pretty different than yours. You may be disappointed with one of the picks. So we'll be back right after this 30-second break.
Using Wi-Fi without NordVPN could mean sharing your private stuff with more people than you think. Stay safe on public Wi-Fi. Get NordVPN's special offer and encrypt your internet connection. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
Welcome back to the Harvey Hour. My name is Nathan Harvey. It's great to have you in today on a Friday. As always, I'm joined alongside my dad, Stephen Harvey. Let's get into our next topic of today's show, which is the over-unders were released last week, and it was interesting. You thought, so early, everything's going to change. I'm sure it is going to change, but the odds were released. So I'm excited now to do my over-under picks. So let's begin with my first one. You're going to be a little bit surprised by this, but the New England Patriots. Let's start with this one. 9.5 over-under. They just made it to the Super Bowl. They were 60 minutes away from winning because that game was never competitive. So what are they going to do? 9.5. Go from the easiest schedule to one of the hardest. What are they going to do? 9.5 is not that much. It's a decent amount, but for a good team, it should be easy. I'm going with the under here. Give me the Patriots under 9.5 wins here. I just think that what we saw is a product of what I was afraid of even beginning of the season. When we talked about playoffs and then throughout the season, we were like, playoffs, how will the Patriots do? I said, they're going to be the least battle-tested team, and how will they fare? Well, the defense showed up against, you could obviously put a lot of context on each and every team. And I thought going up against the Seahawks, they looked like the most complete team out there, and they dominated every single second of that game. Now you're going up against from one of the easiest schedules in like this century to now having a average opponent win percentage of 53.1% winning percentage. That's going to be brutal. With an offensive line that had a rookie left guard and a rookie left tackle. The rookie guard, Jarrett Wilson, did not play very well, and Will Campbell got absolutely cooked in the playoffs. Maybe it'll be a nice little redemption arc for him whatsoever. Ramondre Stevenson, he'll be back next year, obviously. Travion Henderson, I thought should have played much more than he did. You could get off Stephon Diggs, and you could be looking at upgrading at that position, but that would require spending some money. I think the defense was fine, but I just think that look at New England, look at how they played against really tough competition. In the playoffs, the offense could do nothing. Imagine going up against the teams that they are this year and saying, you know what? They're going to win 10-plus games. I don't see it. Give me the Patriots. This is probably going to be a 9-8 team. And generally, over the course of history, Super Bowl losers that following year, a little bit of a hangover. They do not, really have that same power unless you're Tom Brady with the New England Patriots. Drake May ain't no Tom Brady. Give me the Patriots. They're probably going to go 9-8 on the season. Let's go to the next one here. Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, after putting on arguably the worst performance we've ever seen in the playoffs, literally giving the game away time and time again, what are the Texans going to do next year with an over-under of 9.5? Give me the over for them, and then for this reason only. Reportedly, they're going to go after Kenneth Walker in free agency. What was one of the scary things about their offense? They were trusting an ancient Nick Chubb and Woody Marks to operate the running game. You had Kenneth Walker, who was just Super Bowl MVP, to help out that offense, so you put a little bit of load off of C.J. Stroud's back. He can't handle whatever load's on him for in the playoffs, clearly, but as soon as you give it to maybe a Kenneth Walker, well, then you have Dalton Schultz, you have, obviously, Tank Dell will be back, you have Noel, who played very well this season, Hutchinson played well this year, Nico Collins, of course. You have a lot of guys who could operate the offense with passing and then with Kenneth Walker in the backfield running the football. But I think if we're just being honest, the reason why the Texans at least stayed afloat when the offense was so lackluster at the beginning of the season was the fact that you had the two best pass rushers in the NFL, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. That's one of the main reasons why the Texans at 9.5, given the over for them, I think this defense can carry them all the way. Texans, they play actually a relatively easy schedule, the 7th easiest in the NFL. You had the guys who are, bing and bong over there, pass rushing left and right. Give me the Houston Texans on the over 9.5 win total. All right, let's go to the next one. The New York Jets, I've coined, where quarterbacks go to die. 5.5. That's a very, very low number. Give me the under on this one. They have nobody. Go down the list. They don't have a quarterback. Their offensive line wasn't great. I like Mason Taylor, but he's not a top-tier tight end in the league. You have Garrett Wilson. That's great. Who's your wide receiver too? A.D. Mitchell, who after 2 or 3 years in the NFL just caught his first touchdown. And Breece Hall, who doesn't want to be there. You just let go of your best remaining pass rusher in Jermaine Johnson. You traded away your best defensive back in Sauce Gardner. So that means Brandon Stevens is cornerback 1. Yikes. The Jets are not a team right now. They're probably going to go with edge rusher. Sure, fine. Aaron Glenn, he's going to be calling defensive plays. That's great. The defense was abysmal last year. The offense, you have nobody. You legitimately have nobody. So I don't see how this offense functions. I don't know how this team functions. Give me the Jets under the 5.5 win total. They have nobody on their team. They're the Tennessee Titans, essentially. Because I think the Titans going to this offseason, they have money to spend, and I think they'll spend it, I don't know, wisely. They may just go shot in the dark, big contract. With the Jets, they got nobody. Give me the Jets in the under, the 5.5 win total. Denver, there we go. By the way, that's their schedule too. One of the hardest in the NFL. Look at that. They play the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, the Broncos. Depending on how you think of Shedeur Sanders, the Browns could cause them trouble. This is an incredibly difficult schedule. Again, give me the under. Denver Broncos, 9.5. This is a shock for the NFL world. Sean Payton comes out earlier this week and says, you know what? I'm not going to call plays. I'll let Davis Webb call the plays. Davis Webb, very hot head coaching candidate, decided to stay with the Denver Broncos, and now he will be calling plays as the OC. What will this mean for the offense now that Sean Payton is taking a step back from calling plays? I think there's going to be some growing pains, but a similar reason for the Houston Texans is I'm taking the over on the 9.5 here. That defense was on pace to break the 1985 Bears sack record through like 2/3 of the year. Bo Nix, you need to work on his early game tempo. Very roll out and chuck it deep. Or just really some bad plays. There are a lot of games he started like 0-6 with maybe an interception in there. Not great. I think Davis Webb will help him out a lot here. Give me the Denver Broncos over the 9.5. I do think the defense will help him out here a lot, especially early season. You're getting back into the rhythm of NFL football. Let the defense cook. Give me the over on the 9.5 win total for the Denver Broncos. We talked about this one last week. New Orleans Saints, 7.5. Give me the over. Tyler Shuck. I saw from the first game, he played the Rams, and I said, well, hold on. He played the Los Angeles Rams, and that's when the defense was still great. That's when, Matt Stafford was on his 28 touchdown, no interception run, or at least toward the beginning of it. I said, well, give him a shot. He ruined the season at the time for the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It seemed like week after week, it was the Panthers. They need to win this game, and they clinch the division. Saints beat them. The Bucs need to beat the Saints. They could get the division. They beat them. I mean, the Saints were really barn burners for a lot of teams last year, and Tyler Shuck operated at a pretty nice level. I was impressed with what I saw, so much so, I don't think the Saints should be in the quarterback market this year or really anytime soon. Maybe I would trade Spencer Rattler away, try to get some pieces for him. But I think ultimately, no, I'll take the Saints in this one. Again, they have a relatively easy schedule going into this year. They have the second easiest one in the NFL. I think that obviously helps Kellen Moore and obviously helps Tyler Shuck playing against really bad teams and also playing the worst division in the NFL obviously helps. So give me the Saints. I think they have an opportunity. I don't exactly believe it fully, but they have an opportunity to sweep the division. That's 6 wins right there. You need 2 more to have the over on this. So give me the over for the 7.5 over-under win total for the New Orleans Saints. And lastly, first overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders. What are they going to do? Can they win 6 games? I believe this was 7.5 last year, and I bet it, and I got cooked. I thought Geno Smith will do more than just absolutely just crap the bet. I thought Pete Carroll. I thought that was a pretty good. Chip Kelly, the OC. I thought there was something you could do. No. But now that you have the first overall pick, you're going to get Fernando Mendoza. What is going to happen? Can you win 6 games? No. The Raiders, similar to the Jets. Who's left? You have Brock Bowers. Good. You have Max Crosby? Technically under contract, but there's rumors out there, reports out there, he could be traded post-June 1st. Ashton Genty was not good. Offensive line, not good. Wide receiver, is Trey Tucker your wide receiver 1? You let Jacoby Myers go to the Jaguars, and he was really, really good for them when he was used properly. The defense, not good. The Raiders are not a good team through and through. Maybe the best thing you have might be a kicker. That may be one of your top 5 players. If you go down the list, a kicker might be on that list. That's pretty bad. So I don't see the Raiders doing much. You're going to have a rookie quarterback. You're going to have a new system. It's going to be interesting to watch, sure. You have Clint Kubiak, new head coach, just came over from the Seattle Seahawks and made Sam Darnold look pretty good. I don't believe it, though. I'm taking, by the way, I took the unders for 2 of the 5.5s. Now, one team that I did not put on here that obviously I've spoke about in the past, who have the second hardest schedule in the NFL, who I may bet in my own spare time, is Miami, who's 4.5. I'm taking the under for Miami as well. That's my 7th pick in this entire thing. Miami under 4.5. Those are my over-unders for the 2026 NFL season. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't disagree with you on your analysis. I think I actually can agree with most of what you've said here. I don't know how they came up with an analysis that said the Jets were going to win 5.5 games. That's impossible. Their schedule is just, it's like the Giants was last year.
It's not as difficult as that one.
It's pretty bad. I mean, they play the Patriots twice and they play the Buffalo twice.
Well, that's division.
In the division. And, then they got Kansas City, who's going to be better for sure. The Lions, sure. The Lions, they could be a Super Bowl team this coming year. Wow. The Bears are good. The Chargers, the Titans, the Cardinals. Let's see the games that they potentially could be competitive in. Miami is two games, right? 2 games that can be competitive, but best they're going to do there is split. So maybe there's 1 win there.
Okay. All right.
The Titans.
That's a revenge spot for Robert Saleh.
Yeah,
you're big on that when we talked about
so they're not going to win that game. The Cardinals, maybe. Okay, so there's 2. That's it. The Browns. Okay, 3.
That's their ceiling.
Well, maybe the Raiders. The Raiders. That's 4, but still, it's not 4.5.
Yeah,
that's being generous at 4. That's being generous. Okay, there's no way to get to 4.5 or 5. To get to 5, there's no way. I don't see it.
You're gonna need to. Yeah.
Do you see 5 wins there? I don't.
Well, yeah. The way you get to 5 is because we had the Cardinals, we had the Dolphins with 1, the Raiders.
Maybe they beat the Dolphins twice. That would be the way to get to 5.
That would be the way to get 5. But even then, where's your 6th win to make it to the over?
No, it's 5.5. Right? Yeah.
So where's the 6th win?
6th win. There isn't one. It's just not there.
Yeah. Actually, the only way that I could see a 6th win.
Maybe the Browns.
The only way I see
we already picked
win,
that. That was already in the
that was part
five.
of your
It's
five?
already there.
The only way you get a 6th win is if it's week 18 and you're playing against like the Bills or the Patriots who have already secured their spots, so they rest their guys.
Maybe.
That's the only way. Otherwise, you're gonna need an upset.
Yeah. And then the other one, 5.5 for the Raiders. What's their schedule?
I don't have their schedule on it. I could maybe bring it up in a second.
Bring it up. Let's see what their schedule. There's no way there's 5.5 wins.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Because let's go to the list right now. Because obviously, they play Denver. They play Denver, Los Angeles, and Kansas City.
In their division, maybe they win one game out of those 6 games.
Wow.
Maybe they win one.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with home teams. Let's be favorable now.
Okay.
Bills.
No.
Dolphins.
Maybe.
Rams.
No.
Seahawks.
No.
Titans.
Titans. I'm going to say no.
Okay. Cardinals. This is now away. Cardinals.
Maybe.
Browns.
I'll give them that one, too. I'll give them the Browns.
Patriots.
No.
Saints.
No.
Jets. We just saw.
4. That'd be 4. Okay.
Niners.
No. So 4 is max. There's no more than 4 wins there.
Yep.
And they're at 4.5 or 5.5? 5.5.
And just for the sake of what I said is like my extra pick. Let me just go to it quickly. Let's see. Find me the 5 wins for the Miami Dolphins.
The Jets, maybe.
Jets.
Say they split with the Jets.
Okay.
Right?
And then where?
Then the Raiders, maybe.
And then where? We went through this earlier. I can't find a 3rd, 4th, or 5th win.
Yeah, it's 2. 2 wins. Nobody else on there. They
So
got a hard schedule.
Hold on. Let's give them the benefit. Let's say they sweep the Jets. That's 3 wins. Find me 4, 5, and 6.
3, 2.
No,
They sweep the
because
Jets.
including the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders, yeah, 3 wins.
Find me 4 and 5.
There isn't one. There isn't one. None of those teams.
Unless you're playing like Max Brosmer with the Vikings.
Unless it's the same thing as, it's either the Patriots or the Bills at the end of the season and they've already clinched. That might
or
be
you're playing Max Brosmer when you play the Vikings.
That's
Again,
not gonna
though.
Happen. That's not going to happen.
And never say never. We saw Max Brosmer out there way too much. He threw 4 interceptions his first game against the Seahawks. I had the Seahawks defense.
The Vikings are not going to make the same mistake they made last year. They're going to have.
They're going to get a quarterback, and no matter who loses the battle, is going to be the backup. Find me 4-5 for the Dolphins. You can't.
I think the Broncos will be over. Sure.
Okay.
The Patriots. You have their schedule?
The Patriots. Yeah, I can bring it up. What's their strength of schedule?
It's much harder.
What's their strength of schedule?
It's very high. It's like one of the highest.
27th easiest.
Oh, well, it makes it like the 5th highest, hardest.
Here we go.
5th hardest.
So obviously division opponents. So that's a wash for right now.
I say they in the division. They lose 1.
Okay, so they sweep Dolphins and Jets.
So they get 5 wins right there.
Okay.
Okay? There's 5.
So let's go with the home teams. I just want to make sure. Yeah, this should be the away games. Yeah, here we go. Broncos.
I think they lose that one.
Okay. Vikings.
I think you can win that one.
Packers.
That's home?
Yep.
I'll say they lose it.
Okay. Raiders.
Yeah, they win that.
Steelers.
Yep.
Okay. Bears. This is away now. Away. Bears.
Away. I don't think they win that one.
Okay. Chiefs.
Nope.
Seahawks.
Nope.
Lions.
Nope.
Jaguars.
Yes.
Chargers.
Yep. That's 10.
You think they beat the Jaguars?
I do.
How?
I think the Jaguars it's a little bit of a fluke this year.
Fluke.
Yeah, I still don't believe Trevor Lawrence is is he the real deal?
He played pretty damn good after we crapped on all over him to start the year.
He started the year terrible.
He did. He started. I mean, again, that's the growing pain part of it. Yeah. That's why I don't think that.
We'll see. He needs to find consistency. I think definitely they're at the cusp, right, of 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Right. So
right. That's why it's 9.5. That's why you bet 9.5.
Yeah, well, that's why you're saying they're under. I'm saying there's good chance they'll be over.
Because like when I look at it, I do think the Chargers with a healthy Justin Herbert, and it could be early in the year, that could be a toss-up.
Well, a decent offensive line too.
By the way, their center Bradley Bozeman just retired a couple days ago, so they find a new center. Also, we have to realize Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt will be back. So you immediately go from the worst tackles to some of the best tackles in the NFL.
Yeah. So maybe the Chargers do beat them.
And the Jaguars, we just saw them have a really, really good year. When you and I both counted them out.
They're playing the Jaguars on the road.
On the road.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville. Now, I think that's going to be brutal. The Seahawks, that's going to be a Super Bowl rematch, of course. That could be the Week 1 game. Who knows? I find it crazy to believe.
They play the Seahawks on the road or at home?
Yeah, on the road.
I don't see them winning that one.
It's going to be incredibly difficult. You play the Chiefs. The away schedule is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears, Lions, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, obviously, Jaguars, Seahawks. That could be 7 losses right there. You just have to capitalize on the Jets being god-awful. The Dolphins being surprisingly even worse.
Yeah. And being able to beat the Bills
and
once.
The Raiders, you hope Clint Kubiak all of a sudden doesn't make Fernando Mendoza into a great quarterback.
They'll beat the Raiders. I'm not worried about that. Can they beat the Bills once?
That's a good question. You have to split with the Bills.
You think at home, I think probably beat.
They beat them on the road last time, and they were up 21-0 against them at home, and then lost 35-31.
I know. They lost focus. They won't let
They went to the second
again.
half and couldn't do anything, really. I don't know. But yeah, those are my picks for the over-unders. It's always good to talk about this before the season. More predictions. Obviously, we're coming up to the start of the new league year. We didn't speak about it, but George Pickens was franchise tagged today. Kyle Pitts a couple days ago was franchise tagged. Obviously, the Dolphins are going to make moves. We'll see what the Jets do at the quarterback position. Kirk Cousins is officially going to get released day 1 of the new league year. So we'll see him be moving on to maybe purple pastures. We'll see what happens. But yeah, a lot of moves are going to be made, I'm sure. Trade rumors, obviously. The Jets with the Jermaine Johnson for, Tavondre Sweat, I believe is how you pronounce his first name. Defensive tackle, so he reunites with, Jermaine Johnson reunites with Robert Saleh. That should be interesting to see, obviously. You think all of a sudden Robert Saleh is going to unlock the Titans' defense? I have my doubts. I have a lot of doubts. So
I think they'll be better.
They better be. Because you look at that team.
Do you think that Daniel Jones will be franchise tagged? And do you think do you think that's the best move for the Colts?
I think they're going to go with a long-term deal.
I saw what happened to the Giants in that situation. I think the better move would be to franchise tag.
You know who I would franchise tag? Alec Pierce. Because he's going to be very valuable to a team that wants a deep threat receiver.
Patriots,
that would be a good pick. Although I think Kyle Williams and Pop Douglas, those are fine guys. Kayshon Boutte as well. He was actually their best deep threat receiver. Alec Pierce, I think, would be like the Chiefs could use a very reliable receiver who could also double as a deep threat. Alec Pierce could be in high demand. I'd franchise tag him. Give Daniel Jones his $40 million a year. Help the offensive line. The offensive line was fine for the first 8 weeks.
How many years would you give Daniel Jones?
I'd give him a 3 or 4 year deal. I think it could be the 160, 120 million. I'd give him probably 80 of it guaranteed. So half the contract's guaranteed. I think he played fine. And then just obviously when you rely so much on Jonathan Taylor.
He played great the first 8 games.
Right, and then the offensive line wasn't as good. And then obviously Jonathan Taylor hit a wall.
You got to find a way to hang on to the ball.
I agree with that. That was an issue early in New York for him. He could not hang on to the ball.
It's always been an issue for him.
Right. So I think that, it's going to be an interesting situation for the Colts, obviously, getting rid of their 4th overall pick quarterback from, a few years ago, going with Daniel Jones, of course. Jonathan Taylor, will he be the dominant runner that we saw, the first 10 games of the season? We'll have to wait and see. But it should be fun. The offseason's always fun. Crazy trades, breaking news. We'll obviously see it as well. Yeah, I think this wraps up today's episode of the Harvey Hour. We thank you for the constant support as always. We'll be back next week to discuss more of the free agency. The new league year is rapidly approaching, like I said. And then the beginning of April. every single Tuesday it'll be mock draft. Mock draft. We'll do 10 picks, then 11 picks, then 11 picks, and those are your 32 teams. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But for this episode of the Harvey Hour, my name's Nathan Harvey. That's been Stephen Harvey. We have been your hosts of the Harvey Hour. You can catch us next week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern-ish, right on YouTube.
Good night, Grandpa.
Using Wi-Fi without NordVPN could mean sharing your private stuff with more people than you think. Stay safe on public Wi-Fi. Get NordVPN's special offer and encrypt your internet connection. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.